He didn't speak fluently until he was almost 4 years old. His grade school teachers said he would never amount to much. He hated rote memorization and often skipped class. He failed his first university entrance exam. That boy's name? Albert Einstein. This is the story of how a child who was considered slow and rebellious became the very name synonymous with genius and changed the way we understand the universe forever. Part 1. The Compass and the Wonder. Born in Ulm, Germany in 1879, young Albert was a quiet and shy child. His parents even worried he had a learning disability because he was so slow to speak. He wasn't interested in the rough and tumble games other kids played. He preferred to be alone, building complex houses of cards or simply daydreaming. Then, when he was 5 years old, a small event changed his life. While he was sick in bed, his father gave him a simple pocket compass. Albert was mesmerized. He turned the compass every which way, but the needle always pointed north. He realized there had to be some unseen force in the empty space, compelling that needle to move. This sense of wonder, this curiosity about what lies hidden beneath what we see, would ignite his lifelong quest. At school, that fire was nearly extinguished. The rigid German education system, focused on military-like discipline and memorization, was a prison for his free-thinking mind. He hated it. He was an inadequate student but was often dismissed as lazy by his teachers. Part 2. The Rebel and the Dreamer. When his family moved to Italy, a 15-year-old Einstein used the opportunity to drop out of his German high school. He spent months exploring Italy, enjoying his freedom and teaching himself what he truly loved, advanced physics and mathematics. A year later, he tried to apply to the prestigious Zurich University in Switzerland. He failed the entrance exam miserably in all subjects except math and physics. But his scores in those two subjects were so extraordinary that the university offered him a second chance. First, finish high school in the nearby town of Aarau. This Swiss school was the opposite of his German one. It encouraged creative, visual thinking. It was here, at age 16, that Einstein first asked the question that would change the world: what would happen if I could chase a beam of light and ride alongside it? He reasoned that if he moved at the speed of light, the light beam would look stationary, frozen in place. To him, this was an impossible paradox. This very question became the seed of his theory of relativity a decade later. Part 3. The Patent Clerk Who Changed the World. Einstein eventually graduated from Zurich, but he was still a rebel. He had frequently skipped the lectures of professors he found boring, which angered them. As a result, not one of them would write him a letter of recommendation. The young genius was unemployed. For 2 years he scraped by, working odd jobs as a tutor. Finally, a friend's father helped him get a humble job, a third-class clerk at the Swiss Patent Office in Bern. This job, by pure chance, was the greatest gift of his life. His work was reviewing other people's inventions. It was easy for him, and after he finished his tasks quickly, his mind was free to roam the cosmos. It was at this small desk in the patent office, in 1905, that Albert Einstein had his miracle year, annus mirabilis. At just 26 years old, while working a full-time job, he published 4 papers that shattered the foundations of physics. 1. He proved the existence of atoms through Brownian motion. 2. He explained the photoelectric effect, which forms the basis of laser and solar panel technology, and won him the Nobel Prize. 3. He introduced his special theory of relativity. 4. From that theory, he derived the most famous equation in the world, $E equals $2. An unknown patent clerk in his spare time had rewritten the rules of the cosmos. Part 4. Global Fame and the Shadow of War. The academic world finally woke up. Einstein was flooded with professorship offers, moving from Bern to Zurich, then Prague, and finally settling in Berlin, where he became Germany's most prestigious scientist. But he wasn't done. He was grappling with an even bigger problem: gravity. After 10 years of grueling work, in 1915, he presented his masterpiece, the general theory of relativity. His theory proposed that gravity wasn't a pole force, but rather a curve in the very fabric of space and time. In 1919, during a total solar eclipse, astronomer Arthur Eddington's observations proved it. Starlight did indeed bend around the sun, exactly as Einstein had predicted. Overnight, Albert Einstein became a global celebrity. His face, with its iconic wild hair, was in every newspaper. He was the symbol of genius, but his fame coincided with dark times. As an outspoken Jew in Germany, he became a prime target for the rising Nazi Party. When Hitler came to power in 1933, Einstein was visiting America. Part 5. The Pacifist's Regret. Einstein settled in Princeton, New Jersey. But the war followed him. When he heard reports that Nazi scientists were working on an atomic bomb, Einstein faced the heaviest dilemma of his life. A lifelong pacifist, he signed a letter to President Roosevelt, urging the United States to develop its own bomb before Hitler did. When the bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Einstein was heartbroken. "Woe is me," he reportedly said. He spent the rest of his life campaigning tirelessly for nuclear disarmament and world peace. The genius who unlocked the atom's secret now spent his energy trying to save humanity from that very discovery. Until his death in 1955, he continued to work, searching for a theory of everything that could unite all the forces of nature. He never found it. Albert Einstein's story isn't just about intelligence. It's a story about the power of curiosity. He was a child who refused to stop asking why. He was a rebel who believed that imagination is more important than knowledge. From the compass in his childhood to the regret of his old age, Einstein showed us that the universe is full of limitless wonder, but that the moral responsibility for what we do with that knowledge rests firmly in our own hands. Einstein's story is proof that being different is often the first step toward greatness. What is the biggest lesson you take away from Albert Einstein's life? Share your thoughts in the comments below.